on the line this weekend, and that's in the NFC West. Seahawks will face the Niners on Saturday night. Winner of that game will also be the 1 seed. They'll have that first round bye. Loser will drop all the way to the 5 seed. So you could argue the NFC West has been the best division in football yet. As we've said time after time, there doesn't seem to be this juggernaut this year. There doesn't seem to be this dominant team. So who's the team to beat? Who is the team, despite, and I'm going to go to you first here, Peter, despite seeding, do you think is playing their best football right now?
Right now, the best team in the NFL is the San Francisco 49ers. An offense that can't be stopped. Purdy has saved his best 2 games of his career for the last 2 weeks, both of which being must-wins, both of which being in prime time, both of which are players on the field. Last week, Brock Purdy didn't have Trent Williams after the first snap, didn't have George Kittle, didn't have Brandon Ayuk, didn't have other multiple offensive linemen, and still said, just put it on me, I've got it. 10 touchdowns the last 2 weeks from Brock Purdy. This offense cannot be stopped, and the defense, as bad as the numbers may look, has made the big play when they needed it. D. Winters gets the pick 6 against the Colts when they needed it to put that game on ice. And then last week, after the Bears move all the way down the field, Robert Saleh dials up the perfect defensive calls on the hook and ladder. And then, of course, the final play of the game. The San Francisco 49ers look like to be the best coach team, the most prepared team, and the team with the best quarterback in all of football right now being Brock Purdy. I would say in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers are the team I would least like to face in the playoffs.
Even though they don't get after the quarterback?
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not I understand what Peter's saying, and I'll go quick here so Swagoo can take over. I don't love that defense. The Bears, too easy. Colts, Rivers, too
Fair.
easy. I don't love that defense, and they could lose this week. I know this sounds crazy, and they're the only 5 seed and lower that, to me, can make a run. I still think, top to bottom, the Rams are the best team. Now, I know Stafford hasn't played well, played badly on Monday night. I get all that. And they were a little flat Monday night. I get all that. And that cost them, obviously, maybe a game against Carolina or Tampa in the first round, going to Philly instead. That's possible. But I still think, top to bottom, I think when they're playing their best football, I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
I don't think that's crazy at all. Swagoo, what do you think?
I got to agree with Mad Dog and Schrags. To your point, if San Francisco get this win and they play at home all the way throughout the Super Bowl, they become the scariest team to me. But I still have the Rams, man. And I look at 2 games in particular, and it's about what they can be even when they are disastrous. The Atlanta game, they get back into that game with 3 turnovers, have an opportunity to be there at the end. And then you go back a few weeks ago to the Carolina Panthers. Turn the ball over, I believe, 4 times. Matthew Stafford had the fumble at the end of the game, and that still was only a 3-point game. You turn the ball over 3-4 times in the game, you're supposed to get blew out the building. And then you go back to the Philly game earlier this year. That ended on a block kick. So this Rams team, even their own self is their biggest problem. I don't think a team in the NFC can just line up with Mad Dog, to Mad Dog's point, toe-to-toe with both playing at a very high level and beat the Los Angeles Rams. They have flaws like everybody else, but they also have been playing without Devontae Adams. And I don't know if everybody understands how much of a difference he makes, especially for Matthew Stafford and this team when they get into red area, when they get close to the end zone, with him and Puka Nacua, you having to decide who do you take away in those particular situations. Defensively, at times, I've been very disappointed with them in some of the plays that they've been giving up. And Shrey, to your point right now, the Niners offensively look like they cannot be stopped. But the Rams are still in that conversation for me as being the best team and who I would hedge my bets on going into the playoffs. And I know this is coming off 3 interception game, losing the Atlanta Falcons. You're harking back to the Carolina Panthers game. You're harking back to losing to Philly. But ultimately, when this team puts it together and you see them playing at their level, I'm not sure if anybody in the league can reach it.
Lost to Mac Jones at home on a Thursday night this season. And we keep on making excuses for the Rams. At some point, you'd like to see them put together a complete effort against one of these good teams. I know that there was a lot of freak things that happened against the Eagles. I know that Kieran Williams fumbles on the 1-yard line. I know that the 2-point conversion was weird in Seattle, and Charbonnet just kind of picks it up and says, oh, I won the division. Like, that shouldn't happen, but yet they do in 3 different games against talented teams in the conference. Also, how do you come out flat on Monday night? with everything on the line and all the expectations and a primetime game and MVP talk, and how do you come out flat and fall back 21-0 to a team that's been eliminated for a month? To me, in a perfect world, in a vacuum, yes, the Rams, when everyone's working on all cylinders, no, they still have a propensity to not show up. And I know we talk about Devontae Adams. That offensive line, Stafford was under duress the entire game from a Falcons pass rush that Mad Dog is not the 76 Steelers. DJ Humphries might have cost them 14 points in this game, the way that the pass rush was coming, and the backup left tackle could not protect. So we're talking about who's playing the best football right now. The Rams had everything on the table, a primetime game where Stafford could say, I'm going to dunk on the league. I'm going to win the MVP. We're going to show everyone we're fine. We can do this. Don't worry about Seattle 10 days ago. And they laid an egg. And guess what? They came all the way back. Kirk Cousins, in the final minute of the game, drove right down the field to win that game on a field goal. So that wasn't like they just blew them out in the second half and came up short. No, they had a chance to stop them and win, and they didn't. So do I believe in the Rams? Of course I believe in the Rams. McVay and Stafford are going to make you believers. That said, in a big spot Monday night, they somehow didn't show up when the rest of us were there ready to be entertained.
Well, number one, they did not have everything on the line because once San Francisco and Seattle won over the weekend, they could no longer win the division. And the Sunday scenario had to play some effect with their mindset on Monday night.
Fair.
So that would be the first. Second thing, Bijan Robinson was the one who won the game on the last drive. I mean, they just hand the ball. The guy's great. He's the best back in football. I love Henry, but he's
Do you
the
not
best
believe,
back.
though, there's a giant gap in going to Philly as opposed to going to
I
Tampa
agree.
or Carolina?
I agree.
That's what was on the line.
I think that's fair. The other thing is, and Swagoo, I don't know how you feel about this, and I've been on this theme a lot. This is something outside of the realm. They can't put the ball at the 35-yard line. There is no credibility with these last-second drives. I mean, you kick the ball to the 35-yard line, you make one 15-yard play, and a guy makes a 65-yard field goal. The kickers are too good to give the offense that kind of advantage at the 35-yard line. It's driving me crazy. I mean, the Falcons did nothing on that last drive, and he makes a 53-yard field goal like he's asleep. Drives me nuts. So to me, it's almost, that's why you see all these coaches trying to make this last play of the game, when they have the ball because they know it's so easy to score. The Rams almost scored when they got the ball back with 21 seconds.
Nakua makes that catch, or Xavier Smith.
They got to change the rule. It's Swagoo, this is ridiculous. With the ball at the 35-yard line.
Codicil attached to it. Winner is the 1 seed. Loser falls to the wild card. Sam Darnold was in this same spot with a different team last year. What is your sense of this one, Kimberly Martin?
Jamie, I'm going to say the Seahawks. Listen, they got NFL best road record, 14-2 on the road. Also, San Francisco, Trent Williams hamstring. I understand Kyle Shanahan, he didn't practice yesterday, and Kyle Shanahan said there's still a chance that he could play. But that big guy with that hamstring, I'm a little nervous. Also, Kittle's coming back from the injury. First of all, you need your left tackle. I don't want to see Trent Williams limping down the sideline in this game. So I'm going to say the Seahawks, but this one is a tough one for
What's
me.
your feel for this game, Jimmy?
That's a big part of it because what Seattle has built their defense on is those guys up front, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, and all of those guys getting after the quarterback. They played against each other in week 1, and Seattle goes back and they look at that game and they see almost some fluke-type things happening. The tight end Tungus makes a catch where they're right there in position. They just can't get it done. Sam Darnold had a chance, drove them all the way down the field and turned the ball over right when they were knocking on the door to score. So I look at this Seattle team, and I'm picking them as well to win. And there's so many naysayers around Sam Darnold. And I know he hasn't always played his best football, but I look at the last few weeks and what he's been able to do in the fourth quarters where they've needed him most. That Rams game, it was ugly. And then Shaheed returns that punt, and then we see a different version of Sam Darnold. The Colts game, which I was in the stadium for, where they didn't play great on the offensive side of the ball. And then at the very end, 2 passes to Rashid Shaheed, gets them in field goal range, and they win that game. So I think if he can make some plays in the fourth quarter, it's a big if. I think that can be the thing that propels him.
There's no quarterback playing better right now than Brock Purdy, and that's in the entire league. The last 2 weeks in must-win games in prime time, he has accounted for 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns.
And 10 Dougies.
And exactly, dancing up a storm. And they have an offense that is fully dialed in, and that's an offense that was without Kittle last week, was without Trent Williams after the first snap, without Brandon Ayuk the entire season. Purdy right now is playing better than Stafford. Purdy's playing better than Drake May, and that's a small sample size. But guess what? He's coming in with all the momentum, and they're home in this game. And as we've said all month long, you win this one, you're home the rest of the way.
Do you think their defense can hold on long enough?
Guess what? When they need to make the big play, we got a pick 6 on Monday night against the Colts, and they got a chance to stop Caleb Williams on that big play. But no, that is a struggling defense right now, but they've made the big play when they needed.
The Sam Darnold of it all. I mean, you're saying he's playing fantastic football this season. However, he has to, in these moments, these are the moments where the old narrative, you get to squash it once and for all.
I'm rooting for him.
Of course.
I'm rooting for him.
Well,
I mean,
you know.
I'm happy for everybody, and I want to see him. My team's obviously not been in it for 15 years, so I'm just rooting for stories. But I'm rooting for him. I would like to see him once and for all sort of bury that.
It's in the playoffs
and go in. Yeah.
Either way.
But if he look, the Bears just scored 40 points against this team. He needs to play well on Saturday night. All right, last one.